Yes, 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 y'all. We got another good one for you today. What is that? Oh, you should already know. This is that package. But
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Uh,
what do you say?
Yesterday's price is not today's price. He's certified.
So yeah, we gonna let you know what it really is. Because yesterday's price is not today's price. Why is that? Because if you ain't getting your issue in today, I'm about to explain to you today about your future tomorrow. So with that being, hey, it is what it is.
oh.
Welcome to B Talk Media.
Yeah, wake up, no luck, it's grind divine. Stack my wins, can't waste no time. They were sleeping on the kid, now I'm headline shine. Tell them wake up, it's my time to climb. Yeah, wake up, it's my time to climb. Hit that button, 1 million subscribe. Wake up.
Welcome to B Talk Media. Yes, we got another lovely one for you today. Just to give you that heads up. Yes, some of y'all might be having your heads down, but I want you to tell you keep your heads up. And with that being, it's another beautiful Sunday. MB, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling all right, but a little bit under the weather, Took a little hit in the dip, but, buy during the dip.
Ain't that what they say? Buy during a dip. Why? Because they tell you one good thing that
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
What?
What did he say?
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Okay.
He's certified.
So, we're going to explain to you today why yesterday's price is not today's price through a couple of articles that you will definitely be able to relate to. Okay? So, first, we're going to go ahead and let you know that silver, if you look down at the bottom, gold, if you look down at the bottom, gold is now rotating at about $5,000 and what is it? $5,054.60. Silver, yes, it took a little dip. It's down to $78.07. But you know what? You know what a good investor tells you to do? Buy in a dip if it's something solid like this. Buy in the dip on your hard commodities. And with that, we're going to slide over here to our good referral articles. Our good investor that says, when should you sell your gold and silver?
Huh.
When should you sell your gold and silver? Me personally, I would tell you like this. Never.
Man.
Never. You know why? Because if you sell your gold and silver, that means you no longer have it. Okay, you no longer have it. I would say don't do it. That's just me personally. If you plan on building generational wealth, because you can use it in different ways that most people don't even think about it. They just like, okay, I'll buy it right now. I got a little bit of increase. So with that increase, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off the bridge and sell it, get rid of it. Now realizing that you can borrow.
Yeah.
You can borrow against your precious metals. And so today we're going to talk about the articles, and then I'm going to show you another place that, if you really get in, you can do some things that are amazing, that'll pay you left and right continuously. Okay, so we're going to talk about these articles first, so then that way you can find out why you want to get into your silver and your gold commodities. First off, as I said, you really don't want to sell. But when you put into relation the articles that we're getting ready to talk about, in 1980, a quarter could actually buy something if it was minted before 1965. And that was because of the silver content of it. It was a 90% silver quarter. So that quarter at a melt value is at $14.60. Could you imagine that? A quarter being worth $14.60. MB?
Man, $14.60 off of a 25-cent coin in your pocket that you can just walk around. And how they do it? Each one of these would have been $14. And today, oh man, people
Each
better
quarter.
start getting in where they fit in. Because imagine where it's going to be in the next 10 years, 50 years for their children, their grandchildren.
For real. I'm glad you said children and grandchildren, because later on, we're going to show how, even though most people can't even think about this because they're too young to think that 100 years is really not that far.
No, it's not.
When you really think about it, 100 years really isn't that far. Because some of our grandparents lived to be what, 70, 80?
80.
Some of them 90, 100. So if your grandparents can live 100 years, you can live 100 years. That means you have longevity in your life. That means you can create such a amount of value in your family that it would be incredible. Like, take for instance this hotel that opened up in 2006. What they did was they put 1 kilogram gold bars as part of a decoration in the floor. They put 79 kilograms of gold in the floor. Okay, in 2006. In 2006, gold was worth $527 at a low. On a high, it was $721. So on average, we'll just say $650. Okay. So even if it was like $638, $650, when you think about that, they just pocketed over $12 million. And that was in 20 years. 20 years.
That wasn't even 100.
Wasn't even 100. Wasn't even 100. In 20 years, they just made 12.8 million. The floor was worth more than the building.
Yeah.
And that's not the only hotel doing it, because there's other ones in China doing the same thing. The Grand Emperor closed this casino last fall. Now it's removing the gold from its building. Why is it that these countries are tearing down the casinos and removing the gold out the building? Anyone? Anyone? Could it possibly be that gold is now 10 times the amount that it was 20 years ago? And that gold is what stopped the hotel or the casino from going into debt? Well, with the debtness, there is a black hole of debt. And so what they're doing is preparing for what they call the $6,000 gold surge. Because there's a projection for gold to hit $6,000 sometime throughout this year. So pay attention. If gold hits 6,000, what does that mean about silver? Pay attention to your commodities. Pay attention to your correlations here. Because when you think about this, it says the U.S. Treasuries are no longer viewed as risk-free, and that Western economies face near a record debt to global debt production ratio. So the Federal Reserve plans on openly targeting 2% annual inflation. That means if they say every 2 years, we're going to increase the interest. In 5 years, that means you have a 10% erosion in the value of your dollar. So when you think about that, every year, every 5 years, you're losing 10 cents off of your dollar.
Oh.
Ooh, when you really put that into perspective.
For real.
5 years, you done lost 10 cents. So if you go 20
per
years,
dollar, it's per dollar though.
that's per dollar. Per dollar. And so then if you go, you lost 10 cents per dollar. Now you got to go 20 years. So that's 5, that's 10, 20, 30, 40 cents you've lost off your dollar in 20 years on the dollar, the printed fiat. But if you flip that and go into gold, silver, commodities, you see where that increase came in at? Instead of you losing value on your dollars, you actually increase in your commodities. Because even if the commodity goes through a minor dip, it's still worth more than it was if it was a dollar bill.
Correct.
And so last week, anybody that was with us, we talked about the silver in the Lombardi Trophy during the Super Bowl and the melt value of that. Okay, now really, when people think about that, that right there was one of those. That was another as they say, eye opener to say, for reals. You mean to tell me these athletes practice day in, day out for years to get these trophies and medals and stuff, and this is the total value of that? Sometimes it's more about the pride. Sometimes it's more about the pride than it is of saying, you know what, I want the value of that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's about the experience. And they didn't think of the value at first until somebody said, hey, you can sell your Olympic gold medal. And then they tried to go sell it. And they said, hey, bruh, this only got 6 grams of gold in here. It's mainly silver. They're like, huh? What do you mean? It's a Olympic medal. They said, yeah, but it's not fully silver. I mean, fully gold. It's gold plated.
You're so right about that one. You're so right. Most people don't realize that either. Is that when it comes to a lot of the metals and stuff, they're not what you think they are. They tell you, hey, this is, as they say, a good thing. You're representing your country. It's about the pride of it. Well, we're going to see how many countries are shooting for silver this year. That's what we're going to do. And why? We're going to see just how much are those Olympic medals really worth. And why most of the countries, if you pay attention, will be shooting for silver versus trying to get gold. Because even though gold is the best, saying, hey, I'm a champ, I'm the one, I'm one out of all these ones in the world, the country is saying, take that silver off the market. Why? Here we go. Because the 2026 Olympic gold medal is formed of 500 grams of sterling silver. That sterling silver contains 92.5% silver. Sterling silver. With another 7.5% other materials. And then it's all coated with 6 grams of 24 karat gold. So that's what makes it look all nice and pretty. The main substance of it is silver. So if the silver medal is made of 500 grams of sterling silver and a bronze medal is made of, bronze, telling you don't come in third, don't come in last, okay? But when you compare the Winter Olympics to the Summer Olympics that happened in Paris 2 years ago, and we compare, the medals didn't change size, the medals didn't change, weight, they didn't change none of that. The only thing that changed was the value of the metal that they contain. So when you look at the gold medal for the 2026, okay, now, we'll say the silver medal is $1,160 At the current spot price of $78, that's how much that metal would be worth if somebody wanted to sell it or melt it. $1,100. In comparison, when you look at the Summer Olympics in Paris, that same exact silver medal was only worth $535. What
That was
changed?
back then. That was that day. But if you really think about it, that day it was worth that, but this day is worth that $1,160, just like if they would do it today too.
And why is that? Because yesterday's price in 2024 was not today's price in 2026.
So it was all about sitting on it. Long as
Mhm.
you sit on it and just let the value go up, and don't be no hard up person for cash, because liquid is like not king. Liquid is made to move.
Yes, and a lot of people don't realize that when you have cash, that cash is really losing value for you on a regular basis. I just showed you, if they got a 2% increase, and over 5 years you lose a dime off a dollar, off of every dollar you losing a dime, but you can see you can make that dime back and some.
Oh,
You can
silver.
recover your dime, because if you take some of that fiat currency, buy some silver or some gold or some copper or plutonium, palladium, uranium, whatever you buy, something that's touchable, and have it sent to you. I ain't gonna say plutonium and uranium is touchable. That's not. Don't do that. Please don't expect to order some uranium and expect that to come to your house. Disclosure: that is only a stock.
It's only a stock.
Uranium only purchase the stock. Disclosure: do not try to expect to order uranium and it comes to your house. No. You might be able to get some rhodium, some palladium, some copper, some silver, and some gold. That is definitely coming to the door. That's definitely coming to the door. Okay. Now, back to what we were saying on them gold medals. If you still hold on to it, this is a big one right here. Like we was talking about that 100 years, right? Now, the only medals that have ever been solid gold in the history of the Olympics were the first two medals, first 2 years, 1904 and 1908. And at that time, gold was barely $18.96. So you mean to tell me 100 years ago, gold was just about the same price silver was 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And now, 100 years later, whoever them Olympic gold medalists were at that time, if their family still has their medals, guess what? They've now become millionaires, just about. Because that gold went from 1896 up to $5,000 per ounce. And all you had to do is pass down a family heirloom, and you don't even realize how much you have in your family estate.
Yeah.
Your family estate is now winning. So if you look at that and say 1896, 122 years, it could be at 5,000 each. That's a lot of money depending on how many silver ounces you got. And your family ain't working for nobody else. Your family is creating businesses for everybody else now. That's the beauty of it. You give your family the opportunity to do something different with themselves. You get to do something different. And I want you to understand to get in immediately this year, because things are going to go on another run. And when they go on this next bull run, don't think that the Bears are going to take back over later, because it might push back just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay? But it's always going to be a correction. Right now, what you have to realize is there is a demand, always a demand for it. And as long as there's a demand, there may be a shortage if you don't have yours. And so they're predicting that this is going to be the 6th straight supply deficit.
This year?
This year will be the 6th one. So that means more people are ordering than what they have available to distribute. So if you're not, as they would say, a preferred customer, you might not get your issue at all.
Ooh.
At all. So you will want to get in early and be like, you know what? I'm good. I would love to be in early right now.
Yeah,
Because
you rather want to be in early than late because at least you're getting it at a better value.
yes, you're gonna always get it at the better value. And that's a beautiful thing. And so based on preliminary data, silver demand outstripped supply by about 95 million ounces last year. Ooh, 95 million ounces in a year that could not be supplied. That was the shortfall. And so the 5-year market deficit looks to climb above 800 million ounces, which is about an entire year's worth of mining output. So when you think about that, 800 million ounces is a year's worth of, digging and refining. So if you don't get your ounces before, supply runs out, what they say, you got to get yours because I got to get mine.
Yeah, you might be put on a back burner for a couple of weeks, a couple of months.
So I'm going to show you, you got to get yours. In fact, hold on. You got to get yours because I'm getting mine. This is unopened. You see what I'm saying? Unopened. I want y'all, in fact, I'm about to drop this down so then I want y'all to get the full view. I don't want you to feel like you can't see what you're supposed to be seeing. So what we're going to do is I want you to see sealed package, unopened.
Y'all see how he gutted the package, y'all?
So that's telling you don't be a package coming to my house. He reaches in. And what does he pull out?
A precious bar.
That commodity. So I'm not just telling you to do this. I'm real life action doing this. As they say, I'm not industry. I'm in the streets. I'm in the streets right now. I want y'all to understand that. Boom. Boom. You see that?
Yes,
That's called
sir.
marketability.
That's
Boom.
that deer.
And you know this, my brother. You know that's all I deal with is Nadir. Who? Madir.
And we ain't no spokesperson for Nadir either, y'all. But yet,
No.
I got some Nadir. But, we do say go in the description and use our link
Check that link
for Money Metals.
and get your issue. Get your issue. We're trying to show you, get your issue so you can change over from, fiat currency to get something that you can actually touch. You seen, we touching this. We touching it. Ain't no, oh, I can't get into it. No, we touching this. We want you to help your family do other things. It's time for us all to do other things. I don't want to be the only one because guess what? If I'm the only one, my kids ain't going to want to marry nobody.
Nah, because then they're going to think that everybody is just about wealth. Everybody just want to marry somebody for wealth. And it's not about that. If you actually love somebody, that's coming from the heart. It shouldn't be about, you know, money. It should be about, you know, what you bring to the table. And that's what we want to show you. 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 That's what we want to what y'all got or what that other person got. But if it's already taken care of because families is set up, then it's like they're actually
now they can find love. Look, now they can find love, MB.
Yeah.
They can find love, like you were saying. They can find love.
Take trips, go places, discover who they really are, not just being on lockdown.
Yeah. And they can actually get offline, spend time with the person that they're trying to actually get to know in real life, as the young people say, IRL, in real life. So then that way you can know this person, but it's kind of hard to do that if everybody's trying to figure out how to spend the next dollar on survival. Right now, if you look around, there's so much homelessness. People are saying, I can't save, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm barely trying to eat. I can, but those of you that can, this is your opportunity to help those family members that don't have and say, you know what? Let me make sure that our generations that come forward don't go through this situation, because whether you were good or bad, had a good job, had the worst job, never had a job at all, and just ended up in a bad situation, you can always take that lesson and example and say, you know what, we're going to make sure our young ones never have to make those types of decisions.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have to make that type of decision because they've always been given a different set of choices, now it changes the dynamics of your family. It changes the dynamics. And like I was saying, the industrial and jewelry demand dropped in 2025 due to the rising price of silver. Silver shot up to $120 an ounce and remained over $100 for a good couple weeks, couple days. I think what was it, a week or two? It was over 100.
Yeah.
And then it came back down for the correction. But you got to remember, buying the dip, because those that bought early on and said, you know what, I bought at $50, I bought at $60, and it shot up to 100. They were happy at that moment. A lot of people sold at that time because they felt they had the profit. But then we just tell you about the Olympic gold medals and how 120 years just did what? That $18, $19 just flipped your family into a whole nother, and you didn't even sell it or nothing. All you did was hold on to the commodity, and you're able to borrow against it.
Yeah.
And the demand is expected to fall about 2% to a 4-year low of about maybe 650 million ounces. The price pressure is still expected to accelerate efforts to substitute the less costly metals for silver in the solar energy sector. Didn't we say this a couple weeks ago that silver was going to be always in demand due to the fact of technology? Technology. That's the biggest thing. Right now, nobody can get away from it. The silver demand will likely remain robust in the computer sector as companies continue to build data centers and other AI-related technologies. So, anybody not paying attention, anybody not trying to be up, up, up in the next 20 years, because we see 20 years can make a big difference. 20 years on inflation was what? 40 cents on the dollar?
Man, actually, why you saying that? Why you saying that? And we at our halfway mark. Let me go on and take time out real quick and share this. Just a quick insert. Because even though it might take years, it might take time, y'all can go to Amazon and get my book. And if you read my book, you'll understand that you can't just waste time. If you're trying to break a generational curse, if you're trying to get your family set up right, it's no better time than right now. If you need a reason to go do it, read my book, and it'll trigger stuff in your mind to actually make you remember why your mission, why are you here on this earth? How do you want people to remember you by? Everybody got the dates, the date you was born and the day you die. But it's about the in between, the dash. What do you do here? How are you going to build your legacy? And just like ethi said, 100 years can go by, but if you set it up now, can you imagine the next generation that's coming after you? How will it be for that next generation? How will it be? So y'all can go to Amazon, check out my book, The Dash Between the Dates, and hopefully that'll give y'all just a little incentive, a little kicker, a little bit more in depth about me and why I do the things I do and why you should do the things you do. Not just because I'm telling you to, not just because ethi's telling you to, but because it's what you should do. What's right and wrong is wrong. Some of us was taught and some of us was never shown the right way. So it's up to you to do your due diligence. That's why we giving you certain information.
And don't forget, check the description. Download that Glint app. Enter the code. Enter that code. Right there. ZX9ZP2-10G. When you enter that code and order your card, you're going to get free gold on your first deposit.
Yeah.
On your first deposit. You make your deposit, order your card, you get your free gold. So I just want y'all to understand. And so today with that, we're going to go ahead and slide into our investment for the day, because this is supposed to be our we should be up to $60, right?
Yeah.
We should be up to 60. And right now we in a dip. So do we want to buy gold or silver? I ask everyone. And I would say put a 1 in the chat if it's gold, put a 2 if it's silver. As an investor, we told you, buy in the dip.
I was just getting ready to say, I'm looking at how much we made in gold, how much we made in silver. The gold is still up. Silver dipped a little, but we know if you buy during the dip, you get more during the dip than you would. See, gold didn't take too much of a dip, so you're not going to get as much gold. You're going to get a piece compared to you getting a bite of some silver.
Because last week for the $20 of silver, we got 7.704 grams of silver. So to buy today,
hold on, give me a second.
And we're gonna buy silver. Do you realize you just now increased your holdings by 0.723 grams? To some, they may not feel that is enough. But what did we say? When you're buying in the dip, you get more on the other side. And so for those of us that bought the silver last week, I'll explain what just happened. When you buy the silver this week, what you thought you lost will actually recover that on the purchase. What I mean by that is, if you only got 7.7 last week for $20, and this week you get 7.75, we'll just round it up. Or no, it was 8, so we can actually go 7.8. So that means you got a whole nother 1.1 on top of what you spent last week. So now that 0.1 will cover your losses. That's your losses from your 7.7 from the week before. So now when your price gets back up to your original last week's price, the price from yesterday's price or today's price is going to give you profits on last week's loss. And then once it passes your original purchase price from last week and continues to climb, you now have doubled the amount that you started out with and a little extra. And a little extra. So that right there should give you more of an incentive to want to go ahead and knock it down. Go ahead and knock it down. Why? Because now you know in the end you're going to make more. You're gonna make more.
Yeah.
I just want you all to understand that you're gonna make more. I was finishing up my purchase, so then that way everybody can see, hey, boom, I'm getting her done while we sitting here. Oh, it's not gonna. Hold on.
I was about to say, is it gonna let you get it through today?
That's what I'm trying to see. It's not trying to let me get my purchase in right now.
Because the market is closed.
I understand that, but I want it at this price. Normally, it allows us to get it. The last 2 weeks has been allowing us to get it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm looking like, why are we having such an issue today? Is it because we possibly might be giving up the game? Is it because we let them know when they were supposed to do their buys and sells? My bad. I didn't mean to. Yes, I did. But the Lord made me this way. I see what happened. We've been doing a lot. We've been trying to help everybody change their life. And anytime you're trying to help somebody change their life, the system is going to sit there and do whatever it can to stop you from being that blessing to the rest of everyone else.
Yeah.
And I say that because it's one of those, for the last 2 weeks, we have been able to make our purchases. We've had no issue with making our purchases. And now all of a sudden, we come in today and we can't make our purchases. It's $2.50 a gram right now. I need it. I need in. And they don't want to let us in. So I tell everybody, no matter what, throughout the day, because they're not trying to let us get in, you know what you do? You go ahead and you keep trying.
You have it
keep
on ready. So as soon
They
as the
don't.
market open, you open and you get in before it, because it might be a bull run up.
I'm gonna give you a secret, another little secret. I'm gonna drop this dime in there. Check around 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock Eastern time tonight. You might actually get in on an open market. But we don't want them to hear that too loud because they might close it down. But guess what? That's international. Oh, did I say that too? My bad. It's one of those, once you start giving up the game like that, they don't want everybody in. I'm telling you this now because if you have a 2% increase in something, and then you turn around and have a 4%, that means you have a 200% increase and you already couldn't meet the demand before.
What you talking about, ethi?
So think about that business wise. You got a company and you make burritos. We're going to say it like that. When you make burritos, I'm going to say that because we got a lot of burritos leaving the country right now that you know are great. And I say that in a sense of food because people make great food. And so you got a great burrito company that just got shipped up out of here. Why? Because they couldn't compete. The government said, we don't want you here. So they kicked the company out. Now, this company goes to a whole nother country and they have so much supply for their burritos. They're trying to ship them all around the world now. But they can't make them fast enough. They can't make enough burritos. There's not enough tortillas. There's not enough corn. There's not enough flour. They don't have enough ingredients to make the burritos. but they're so doggone good. So you know what that does? That raises the price on the burrito.
Yeah, 50-cent burrito now costs 150.
Hey, and if you
250.
want it shipped, look, and if you want it shipped across the border, now you got to pay $5.50. Like they say, water at home is free. Water at the liquor store, I mean at the grocery store, you're gonna get it by the case. You know, you might get a whole 32 case, 42 case, 36 or something for like what, $3?
Yeah.
You go to the liquor store, you're gonna pay for what? One bottle, 120-ounce bottle, same bottle, you paying almost $2. You go to the gym, that same 20-ounce bottle is now $4. Now don't take the trip to the airport because
Oh,
now your bottle just got smaller and your price just increased because now you're paying $7 for that what, 6 to 12 ounce bottle.
yeah, it's the small bottle.
Yeah, it's the baby bottle. It's the baby bottle, but you paying $7 for it. So when you think about that, that's one of those you look over and go, man, that's, but it's still water. It was still a burrito.
It's still a burrito.
It's still a burrito, and guess what? It's still silver. It's still gold. And that's still a paper dollar that's losing 40 cents every 20 years. Yeah, I'm going to keep reiterating that one because that's telling you how much you're losing on your dollar bill.
And
40 cents every 20 years.
and just to reiterate, not to give our age, but we at least right there of half of them 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
And our kids are right there at just now becoming grown and stuff and getting ready to have their own kids, and they're at a certain level. Now just think, within our lifetime, we can see a dramatic change in the family dynamics all the way down. If we would have started,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody would have taught us this when we first started working or when we first stepped off the porch and we learned investments, how to strategize and set up legacy. Oh my God.
Yes. Yes. That's just one of those. You want to make sure that you set your family up, and these are the ways to do it. These are the ways to do it. So we got 60 invested as of today. Those of y'all that need to catch up, ensure that you go into the description, download the Glen app if you want the digital currency. If you would like to, if you want the digital currency, go ahead, hit the Glen app, do the code, you know, right here, Z,
Yeah.
you know,
They,
Z
they get it. They get
X9
it. They
CC2.
know to hit that code.
Yeah, hit that code if you want to get the digital, and then go into the description down below. Go into that money metals if you want to touch on it.
But that's more than the $20 investment, y'all.
That is. Now think
That's
about this. This right here would be your whole month's investment when you look at it. Because if silver is at $78 an ounce, that's almost $80. That's all I asked you for in a month was $80. So if you bought one of these, you already done.
you already,
You
man, you
already done.
set for your investments. You set
You
to
already
just watch it now.
just set to watch. And as that value goes up, you're gonna feel a certain glow that comes across your body every time you touch it. You're
And you
gonna
go
feel
say,
that transfer of energy, that currency that's
you gonna
gonna
say,
touch your body and uplift you.
why didn't I buy more?
Yeah, at that time. At that time. And then when you get a bigger bar, something like a 5 or a 10 ounce, you're gonna look and touch that and just the feeling of that.
Yeah,
Just to hold, look, you think you holding a 5-pound baby in your hand, hold a 5-ounce bar.
yeah. When I'm holding them 5-ounce bars, it feels way different. And then when I hold them 10-ounce bars, it's like, look, you know how they say weight lifted off your shoulders?
Mm-hmm.
How can you really have weight lifted off of your shoulders? You know, extra ounces, but it relieved the pressure of not having a future legacy. So it comes with a totally different feel, totally different energy.
Totally different mindset. Because when you think about something like that and you're holding on to it and you feel it and you say, you know what, I'll never be broke again.
Man,
I'll never be broke again. I'll always have at least $80 to my name in my pocket. Even
no,
if
it's more. It's gonna end
I
up more
know
than $80 in
I'm
value
just saying this is what I spent on it was the 80 at the time.
because the
Okay.
valuation of the dollar is going down.
And so think about that one now at 10 cents every 2 years. Or what was it? 10 cents every 5 years we said?
No,
40
it was
cents.
two. It was
It
two.
was, yeah, 2 cents every 2% a year, which turned for 5 years is 10%.
Yeah.
So 10 cents. So that's why we said it was one of those, you losing 40 cents on every dollar. So at 40 cents every dollar on 20 years at $80, that would be just about $3 and some change that you lost on your $80 if you sat it sitting in your bank account. Whereas in 20 years, this $80 is definitely going to be more than 100 and change, which means I made $20 in profit. So your fiat is going to continuously lose value.
Yeah.
It's going to continuously do that. Soon what we'll be doing is we'll be going ahead and testing out another little market, trying another market, another investment, because looking at silver and gold, you can actually do so much with it if you have it in the right place.
Yeah.
You can make your issue. You definitely can. And I want everybody to think about what we were saying today. Make sure that you get your investments done. Make sure you slide over there, check the links. I want you to investigate yourself. They have different materials out here that are coming out on a regular basis. I give one. I normally don't talk about it, but it's called hempcrete. That's a market that's out there that nobody ever really even thinks about. Gasoline is another one. We all, rock gasoline with our vehicles, but that's not really something I would really deal with, gasoline. But hempcrete, that's one of those things that's, up and coming. Investigate. Find out what it is. Find out what it does. And then find the company. Invest in stocks. Things
Yeah.
of that nature. So as you start to build your family legacy, you're not building it off of just what somebody else told you to do. You're starting to get into it yourself, because eventually we want you to be able to walk into, say, a brokerage company like Fidelity or Ameritrade and say, you know what? I have a trust with all this stuff in it. And I would like to be able to take complete advantage of the assets and things that I have available to me. How can you help me put this in proper order to where it will be beneficial not only for me, but for my family? We're talking life insurance policies, medical policies, car insurance policies, whatever your policies may be. They all hold different values, but your life insurance policy, you want to make sure you get the correct one so that you have life insurance, not death insurance.
Man.
Most people look and they go, well, I can't use my insurance policy right now. You can if you have the right policy. And if you do it right and put it on, say, The youngest baby that just grew in, that just was born. Put a 20-year policy on that baby. Let that flip while that baby is growing up. Put all your extra cash into that life insurance policy or into your commodities, something that's going to gain money for you. And with that being, in 20 years, once again, if the dollar just lost 40 cents for every dollar, but your life insurance policy just flipped and gained thousands of dollars every month or hundreds of dollars every month, whatever you put in there and made that happen. Now, with that being, you've increased. And when you decide to send your grandbaby or your baby to college, they have money in the life insurance policy that has been guaranteeing their life all their life. So I want everybody to think about that, you know, think about getting your trust done. So then that way you can have your instructions put in place for if anything happens to you, you know, hey family, this is how I want things to be when I pass away. Because guess what? There's two things that are going to happen in this world. People are born and people die.
Man.
Cut and dry. I mean, you can look at me all day long and be like, he is so just blunt and so just unthoughtful. Well, guess what? It's a fact. The Almighty told me to speak facts. Sometimes it has to come out that way in order for you to really hit home and understand that, hey, this could be me at any day. So with that being, get your house in order. This is what we mean by getting our house in order. Put your trust in place, get your instructions in place, get your life insurance policies in place, get all your investments put in place so that when you go to retire, because there's no retirement plan in the streets. There's no retirement plan if you don't have a job with a 401k to it. You're just slaving at a job day to day for somebody else's benefit. If you don't have some type of savings going on wherever you're at, assigning every dollar a job, then you're losing. You're losing. Every dollar should have a job. You might look like the brokest person on the world, but as long as your dollars have a job, you know that your money is working for you, and eventually you'll be able to relax. You putting in the grind now. We tell our young people, as they say, the young YNs and the YLs, young ladies, and YMs, young men. If you would go ahead and use that job to put something to the side right now, it's the grasshopper and the ant. The ant looked at the grasshopper and he was working. The ant is working. The grasshopper looked over and was like, why you keep working? I'm preparing for the winter. The grasshopper is like, I'm Gucci. He hopping around. Boom, boom. All the ants is working together, building up their anthill. You never see what's going on underground. It looks so calm, but it has 100,000 tunnels underneath there because they done built from the ground up. So by the time you see the anthill coming above ground, they push so much dirt up out of there. Do you realize how much dirt they've removed? Because no matter how you look at it, as far up as the anthill goes, it has to go down. As they say, as above, so below. And the anthill plays the perfect example of that. Don't be a grasshopper. Don't wait for the winter to come in and now you don't have no crops put to the side. You running around looking for cheese, talking about who moved my cheese. Now, if you seen that you had cheese over here and cheese over there, you should have known. If one starts to run low, I can go to the next one, but fill that first one back up. Because once all the coffers is gone, they're gone. They're gone. And once you get up to a certain point in age, guess what? You won't be able to recoup it. You won't have the strength to get up and get out there in the world and keep moving around to take care of yourself. That's the one thing that also is guaranteed. our health will start to decline at some point in time. And that's how we end up passing away, because your health at some point in time. So be prepared. Let's go ahead. Let's make sure that we get our investments rocking. Don't forget to check them links. Don't forget to check that description. Don't forget to shoot over to Amazon and grab that book. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of stuff to remember right now.
Yeah.
And don't forget, what time did I tell you?
He said,
Make sure that you get in. Make sure that you get in. What time? Okay. So for those of y'all that seen that, make sure you get in. Handle your business. So then that way, when it's time for you to pass the reins and to pass all the control to them young people that will really, as they say in our lives, we teach the young people, hey, make sure that you go ahead and give Granny a plate. And you teaching your young people to do it, to transition into the positions of authority. You see what I'm saying? You gotta eventually, Big Mama sits down, but we don't have Big Mamas now. Eventually, Pawpaw sits down. You see what I'm saying? And you got the younger generation coming behind you. When you teach them, they go ahead and do, and as they start to invest, they'll teach the next generations to invest. And with that, MB, you got something to add? Because I want the community to know we love y'all. Subscribe, comment, like, and share. Don't forget to check them links below.
You actually gave it to them. You gave it to them raw and uncut and straight to the point. Hopefully they got the message. It's never too late. In 100 years, it sounds long, but it's not. 20 years go by in a blink of an eye. We see how 100 years ago, gold was what, $17 an ounce? Right now, copper's $5 a pound. So imagine where copper's going to be at in the next 100 years. It's just like, secrets that's right there in front of people's face, but they not willing to take that chance to wait it out or even put their family in position. So I'm glad that we kind of came and showed people why they should and also how to actually get it in hand.
Yes, sir. That was one of the biggest questions I think I always had, and you might have always had. How can I buy silver and have it in my hand?
Yeah.
Well, over these last 3 weeks, we've answered that question every time.
Every time.
Check the description below. Hop on that Money Meadows link. Create your account and go ahead and order whatever you want. And it's going to come directly to your door. We seen directly to the door. Boom. Sealed package. Private. And protected. Certified.
They can't say you got scammed out of that when it came to your door.
No, I want somebody to really be like, oh, he can't do nothing with that. Guess what? I want you to realize that the one thing that if you do it right, I'm going to go ahead and just give you a partial of it. They got numbers on them, which means you can register your metals just like you do your car or anything else. It's your property. It's your property. It's yours. So that's how you get your silver in hand. And if you want to be able to get in and do your digital, you see the glint right there. Handle your business. Enter that code, get your free gold. Turn around, get you some silver. Once you start becoming a preferred customer, they might even start sending you free stuff. I'm just saying though, over time, anything's possible.
And that's time. Yeah. He said, with that is time.
Welcome to B-Talk Media.
Yeah, wake up, no luck, this grind divine. Stack my wins, can't waste no time. They were sleeping on the kid, now I'm headline shine. Tell them wake up, it's my time to climb. Yeah, wake up, it's my time to climb. Hit that button, 1 million subscribe. Wake